Welcome to the Hivemind podcast. I'm one of your hosts, here to Phyrexia, aka Kyle Kelly.
My name is MTG Cranium 707, your one-stop shop for the Hivemind. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been listening, following, supporting,
Liking, commenting, buying
it's
merch.
been huge. You guys are the real ones, and we solely appreciate it from you guys, and couldn't have done any of this without any of you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, and your continued support keeps us coming back to record for you guys. Episode 12 will be our last episode for the season. Right now, we're on episode 8. Again, we appreciate all the support. Our merch line shuts down October 1st, so if you want to get orders in, please contact Cranium or Inkvale or myself, and we'll get that happening. And also, Cranium, you got anything else?
Be on the lookout. I believe episode 10, 2 episodes before our final episode, we are going to be having one last final guest for the season. And don't worry, for anyone listening, there will be more spots. We are going to do another season, but our final guest is going to be our favorite rules lawyer on TikTok, Rip Pull Repeat.
Yep.
I got to play with this guy a couple times. We're actually going to be playing this Saturday. Hopefully, we get it streamed.
Yep.
Wonderful person, explains the rulings very well, and it's going to be a dynamic episode. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, and also appreciate Rip for taking the time to come hang out with us for 20 to 30 minutes or so. It's gonna be fun to have him on there. I know he's a very big rules person, and I know Cranium is not a very big rules person, so this should be interesting.
Listen, I'm learning better to be
fucking dead. All right.
So let's get right into this topic. Then this was like a last minute type thing. Go ahead. What are we talking about today?
So the last couple of days, there's been some buzz around some of the platforms of another RC being formed. Yeah, just what we need, right? I kind of looked into this, so I kind of went and did my own research. And from the looks of it, there is a live website that is, and mind you, this is all stuff that is not real. This isn't a real thing at the moment, but I can see...
Not official.
Yeah, it's unofficial. The real RC is still the list to come off of for your bannings and, all the stuff related to Commander. There is an official website you can go to still. But, yeah.
So this is from the top deck, right? The tournament.
Yeah, so I believe this is coming out of the top deck TO, I believe. So it looks like they're running a 11 to 12 month series for the cEDH community, and they are doing a 64 placement at the end. I believe a 64 person placement at the end of the series, I believe, and this is why we're seeing posts about their actual ban list. I believe they're going to make a ban list for their own series, but
right.
I think a lot of people are confused because they're actually calling themselves the cEDH advisory group, which I found that pretty odd.
Everyone's like,
what is that? What the fuck is that?
I mean, for real, and it confused the hell out of me too, because
I've seen off the link that you sent me and all that stuff. The ban list is everything in Commander +1, and I don't understand why we even need to have a separate ban list for cEDH. Yeah, it's for your guys' events and all that stuff. Let's go over the stuff they want to ban and unban, right?
Right, and
Banned
real
card.
quick,
The
like,
only card they
hold
want
on,
banned.
real quick, like,
Yeah,
too, people got to realize is, as of right now, cEDH is still not a real format.
Right.
It's literally not a
And
real
that's
format.
right. And
Um,
so they're going off of what's already on the ban list for regular commander, right? The casual stuff that we
yes.
love and know that will stay banned forever. But then they want to add what Ristic study. They want to just add one
They
more
don't.
card.
I haven't seen any official data about that. Um, it's
I've
all
seen a
hearsay.
couple
Maybe
of
it's in a couple people are talking
right,
about it that they've mentioned they want to ban Mystic Study. One of the
right,
I'm not gonna, one of the other podcasts that I listen to, pretty good dudes. They mentioned it. But I mean, at that point,
right.
even then, what's the point of banning, you know, other cards for a format that is designed to play to your the highest potential, right?
Right.
That to me is my question, and this begs the question: is who actually appointed these people to be another RC?
Right.
Like,
That's the craziest part is I fully agree with you. cEDH is meant to be the format, right? That's unofficial right now, but it's meant to be the format that takes the best of the best and it breaks the game, essentially, right?
yes, yeah,
You have your
you want to
casual
play with the
commander.
most you want to play with the most
Right,
broken cards.
right.
We're winning anywhere from turn 1 to 5, 6 give or take if there's a lot of interaction, or even later.
And really, if if this rumor is true, right, that Ristic study, do you really think that is the card? Like, and let's be honest, if that's the only one that they want to break or they want to ban, right? You're not putting it. If you really want to diversify, quote unquote, and balance, quote unquote, a broken game, you really think one card's going to do that on top of the already banned list?
Right,
No. If you wanted to do something like it, stop trying to make cEDH into casual EDH.
right,
It's not what this format is about. It's about bringing the
and
smoke to the table and fucking shit up.
yeah, basically you want to bring your most favorite cards, your most busted cards, and play with either your friends or go to a tournament scene, right? To come play with these cards that you
Right.
own, correct? And most of the
Right.
time, I believe, tournament grinders, they actually own the real cards, right? Some of these tournaments do allow proxies, some of them don't, whatever. Um, Either way, I mean, these people, I believe, they want to play with all their best cards. I don't think, unless there's people behind this, there might be, I just don't see why, cEDH players would want this, because me as a player, I don't want to see another ban list. I don't want to follow 2 ban lists. That makes no sense to me when there's already an RC out there that is, they're quote unquote calling the casual RC, but they've been doing the ban list for Commander for I don't even know how long, since Commander's been around. So I mean,
Pretty much. They've been adding to it.
They've
only subtracted maybe 2, but they banned another 20.
right,
And it's dumb.
right, and
Now, I will say this. Out of the rumors, right? Ristic being banned is one of the rumors. But let's talk about the unbanned cards that they want to do, right? And this is all hearsay. This is all just rumors that other people have posted about.
yeah, and like I said, all of this is unofficial.
Right.
None of this has happened yet and is official. We still follow the actual RC ban list because this is not an official thing that is going on yet.
Right. So the banned card is Ristic. We got that out of the way.
Right.
Unbanned cards, which this, honestly in itself, I'm actually in support of unbanning some of these cards for cEDH. I'll personally say, let's break the game, right? You have Fast Bond.
Yeah.
You have Leable. You have Gifts Ungiven, which I think would be dope.
Yeah, Gifts Ungivens.
Primeval Titan. You have Repellos. You have Coalition Big. Unban those cards.
I saw even possibly Cursor of Krufix, which is,
Yeah. Now, if we're gonna unban some broken cards like that, let's nut up let's do something crazy. Let's unban profit accrue fix in cEDH because it is very easily dealt with
Right.
in cEDH. I'm sorry. Anybody that disagrees with that, I'm doing all the tough shit. But it is very easy. Yeah, just tough shit on your part. Like, run more interaction. One more.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
It's
like,
very. If you can't deal with profit, you shouldn't be playing cEDH to begin with. But
right.
I'm okay with the unban, but the Ristic study ban makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
I could see maybe because if the person that actually does get a Ristic study out gets a pretty good chance of winning the game. You know what I mean? It does increase your chances of winning by a lot, but it doesn't win you the game outright, right? So that's why I'm just kind of like dumbfounded by it because we have Mystic Remora too. Like, right. I don't know, man. It's just weird to me.
You have all these other cards that allow you to draw a card off of somebody else doing something, but you wanted like Mystic Remora turn 1. Oh, but it has an upkeep cost. Okay.
Yeah, but people usually play. People still. I mean, most cEDH players still play into the Mystic. You know what I mean? It's not like the table talks to each other. I mean, maybe sometimes they do, but it's not like if you're in a tournament, the players will play into the Ristic study, especially if they have a gas hand that they're gonna, try and win the game with. That's just how it is.
Right, but it's still able to be dealt with. Like Ristic study coming out. Yeah, you have to burn. Be a piece of interaction that you didn't want to do, but if there's such a high chance for the Ristic study player to win because I have a bunch of gas in my hand, 0 drops.
Right. Let's look at that. Let's look at that game we played last week with Dave the Hobbyist. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had a Ristic study out one of those games. He actually did end up winning.
Oh, yeah.
But I also had a Boseiju in my hand that I could have got him with, right? But I chose not to because the other 2 players were, still already let him draw a few cards. So I've said at this point it's pointless. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, that, and maybe I should have got it anyway. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Which really, okay, Ristic study. I have gas in my hand. Well, I also have an Orcish Bowmasters.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're gonna play your Ristic study. I'm gonna play my Orcish Bowmasters, and I'm not paying the 1 at all. Like I'm just gonna ping you to death.
I mean, honestly, my whole stance on this though is like we already have a ban list. We don't need another ban list, and we don't need self-appointed people running cEDH. In my opinion.
Right. Like I didn't agree for these 4 or 5 people to just be like, hey, by the way, we're gonna start this because blah 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 blah. You don't. And that's the funny part is on that website was like, oh. We want to take away from the community and we want to get your guys' opinions. Well, everyone and their mom right now is pretty much being like, this is stupid. And they're like, well, good opinion, but we're going to do whatever the fuck we want to begin with. So, your input. What was the point of that?
Right.
I don't know you guys. It's, as I like to joke with the RC for EDH, it's almost like they got booty tickled off of freaking losing to a certain card, so like, we need to ban it because I lost really bad and it gave me bad feelings on it.
Right, like they lost in a tournament, maybe because somebody got a turn 1, Ristic study, and they were the first person, in turn order. I mean, obviously, we already know if you get a turn 1 Ristic study and the first person in turn order drops the Ristic study, that's the one. There's a good chance they're probably going to win that game. I mean, it's hard to come back from that one, especially in cEDH.
Something with them,
right?
Well.
But I mean, how often?
What I see this doing is it's just going to split the format and it's going to divide the players.
Right, and that's
it's not going to give really the people that want to get people into cEDH. It's not going to give the new players any sort of advantage at all.
And the only thing that I've seen come out of this already is negativity and like nothing positive, right? So. I go on across all the platforms, read about it, I did my own research and looked at a lot of the posts on other platforms and none of it was taken real well. And I fully understand and agree why, because again, nobody wants to follow another ban list. Most cEDH players, if you talk to them, they don't want any cards banned. You know what I mean? And that's where I stand because I want to play. Look, and I came to Commander as an eternal format. because I want to play with all the
Right.
cards that I can possibly play with in my collection, right? So what is with the ban list we have now allows me to do that, plus or minus a few cards. But realistically, we have another format created and another ban list created, because ultimately that's what it's going to do. It's just gonna. What's going to happen is they're just going to start banning all the top cards in the format, right? Because, and at that point, once they do that, they just turn it into regular EDH.
And I mean, so it's going to start, like, say Rizzic Study is the first one, right?
Right.
It's going to start with that, and then all of a sudden it's going to be Dockside, and then all of a sudden it's going to be all these other cards.
It's going to go to Mana Crypt, and then
ban the One Ring and Blood.
Right. They'll ban Jewel Lotus, Mana Crypt, all this other stuff. Possibly. I mean, they could possibly do that, and then just slow the format down that we know it is. Like, what's the point of playing cEDH when you can't win? At a fast pace. That's what the format was designed for, right? So, like,
this is also why at tournaments they have time limits.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want these games going on forever, like in casual. They want these games to be done with fast.
Right. That's one of the points, and I think honestly that's a lot of the reasons why people are complaining about Nadu too, because a lot of those games go to time, But in my opinion, I think we need more data on that. I think Nadu's fine. It's just like watching a Krark player. You guys have seen me dirtle for 20 minutes and not win the game. I'm just like, oh, darn it. You know what I mean?
And that song, oh, dang it.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
And that's the funniest part, is everyone was tripping off at Nadu, not realizing Krark and Sakashima exist.
Right.
Have you not seen somebody roll 15 dice like 19 times in a single turn? Like,
right.
Come on now.
Or, I mean, if you can even just go the original way and flip coins, which takes even longer. You know what I mean? Right. It's like,
Right. And that's the thing, is like, no matter what, you're not going to make anybody happy in this damn game. And that's just what it comes down to. And that's what they're banking on right now. It's like, well, there'll be some people that agree with us.
Right.
Most of the community isn't going to agree, and that's okay too. Their opinion matters. We're just not going to give.
Now, I would have taken this a different way. I think if they would have just named themselves like the cEDH RC advisory group, maybe.
Right, advisors. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and taking it a different way that way. And then I would have taken a different opinion on this, but it seems just I get the ick. You know what I mean? From this type of thing. I don't know.
And you know what? I'll say this. I don't know if I'm serious or not in this. It's probably going to be taken as a joke, but get behind this committee, and I'll get behind their rulings that they ban Dranic Magistrate. Okay? Get that little white piece of shit off the board.
Oh,
don't allow anyone to lock out their commanders.
No, you're just mad because you get trolled by Dranic every game you play in.
I get trolled by Dranic every single fucking week, and it's annoying.
Oh.
But at the same time, it's a part of the game. So, in final thoughts on this whole thing is, stop trying to fix a clock that isn't broken to begin with.
Yeah.
Or should I say that is broken. Like, just let it break. Let us enjoy our cards. Let us enjoy bringing all the best cards into this format. Makes no sense. This isn't casual Commander.
I just feel like this is one of those situations where we don't need more hands in the basket. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
Right.
We already have the RC. That's how I feel about it. Right. And the RC's been doing it for how many years? Like, we don't need more.
And here's my idea. Instead of these self-appointed people, you guys run your tournaments, right? You have your 65 people, or whatever, top 64. You have those 64 people go into another tournament, right? Just those 64 people. 8 people get to be the advisory. They get to be the board. Not this, and it's almost like a voting thing, but you have to pay or play in order to get that spot on the board. And each year it can be a different person if they come and play the game and they beat those people.
Right.
It's a self-rotating advisory board. Don't make a rules committee. Don't try and enforce bullshit that we don't want to have enforced on us.
But even with that, like,
Let that.
even
Maybe
with
that's an
that,
idea. Try that one.
well, I'm just saying, even with that though, there's ways to throw to tournament games, you know, to where you can get the people you want on the
Right.
advisory or on the advisory. I mean, I don't know. I just don't want it at all. I mean, that's where I'm going to stand.
Right.
And that's where I'll always stand.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's my opinion on the subject. I know everybody else will have different opinions, and I've seen a lot of confusion and divide, you know, in the community. But I'm hoping that can help clear things up. I know some creators on another platform did go and, you know, talk about it a little bit. But it's nice to actually, you know, jump on here and kind of give people a little, you know, of what's going on, per se.
Right.
So,
Right.
as of right now, none of this is
And you know what?
as of right now, none of this is official. But they are going to try and put a ban list in for this tournament series. So
Yep.
we're going to see what happens, I guess.
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But don't. If it doesn't work, don't try and make it work by changing out just a couple cards or banning this or banning. Just drop it.
Right.
That's straight up what needs to happen. Stop trying to fix a clock that ain't broken.
Right. Yeah. And
that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, that's where I like to be with this subject, and hopefully, in my opinion, it just goes away. But we all know how controversies and, you know, seems like stuff like this pops up every now and then. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Up and it's going to keep rearing its ugly head, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So now that that's out of the way, do we want to do a little game of ass or gas? We didn't have anybody comment their commanders or cards on the last video.
I can give you a couple randos. Let's I think there's some more Duskmourn spoilers that we can talk about, actually.
That's what I was gonna say. We could go over some Duskmourn.
Yes, let's do that. There's some you know what? We'll do that with gas or ass.
Okay.
Or not gas or we'll just talk about some of them, actually, just because some of the new spoilers are actually halfway decent, I think.
Right. I think Duskmourn is becoming one of the more powerful sets this year.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of power creep.
Yeah.
Not much, but I mean, it's another standard set. We're not going to see very many cEDH staples come out of this set. But we'll see. Right. We'll get some playables. You know, we'll test them out, and again, we'll see if they can actually hold up a spot in our decks, which is hard nowadays. But you know, we'll test them out and find out what's going on.
I'm saying.
All right. So what do we?
There was one card, and I did a video on it earlier.
Okay.
Today, and this card I honestly love. It's called Nowhere to Run.
Nowhere to Run. All right.
And I think it's going to be. You're going to see it more, whether it be in casual. cEDH, there's some people, like Dave said today, he's like, I don't think it's going to be running cEDH. I beg to differ. I love you, Dave, but I beg to differ. Because this is a flash enchantment. It's one swamp, one colorless. Nowhere to Run enters the battlefield. Target creature and opponent controls gets -3/-3 until end of turn. So you have a spot removal for Grand fucking Magistrate Collector. Goodbye. Right? You can kill him with flash. Creatures your opponents control can be the targets of spells and abilities as though they didn't have hexproof. Ward abilities of those creatures don't trigger.
Okay.
So, if I'm reading this right, this is a perfect card for like Tibet or you little noodle monster Eldrazi players, Ulamog and Emrakul looking at this going, shit. But I really like this card. I'm gonna say it's gas.
Okay.
In my personal opinion, and whether it be
this was Nowhere to Run.
Yep, Nowhere to Run. Nowhere
to Run. Okay.
I'm gonna say gas on both ends.
All right, so it's a 2 mana flash. Okay, I do like this. So it targets a creature. Yeah. Okay. This is an interesting card. Would I run this in every deck of mine? Probably not. But I mean, if you have nothing else to run, really, I mean, this is a good option. It does get around ward and stuff, which is pretty decent, I guess. It does get rid of a problematic, like you said, Dranith or Bowmaster. That's also. I think it'll see some play. It probably, like I said, it won't be in every deck, but people will test it out probably.
Yeah, I mean, you can always see how it's gonna do.
Yeah, I will probably try. I'll probably try it out in my Crick deck, honestly. Just because it's literally only costs 1 colorless to cast this. Sure, I'll try it out.
Right. Why not?
Looking at some other. I got one for you. This is one also that I might be testing in my Crick deck. The Valgavoth Terror Reader for a black 6 colorless, flying lifelink 9/9 ward sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. If a card you didn't control would be put in an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. Okay, so aside from Crick decks, I don't see this being played anywhere else.
I can maybe see it being.
But even there, we have a steep price of 6. But if you let's be real here, we put graveyard piles in that deck, so this would be reanimated anyway.
Right.
I could see this is like one of those this is like a bigger Dolthy, I guess.
Yeah, I could see it in a Kalia deck, but that's still.
But this is a good. This is a decent option to have. I'm not saying, like I said, a lot of Crick players won't play this, but it's a good option to have when you actually going for the win in that deck. Right. Because people aren't going to want to, counter your stuff because you're going to be exiling their counter spells, and you get to basically play them for free, right?
Right.
So I could see this getting some kind of play.
I could see it. I could see it doing some play, not all the time, but Crick for sure. I definitely.
Outside of Crick, I don't see it played anywhere else.
And they are reprinting Leyline of the Void, which is pretty dope, but.
Right.
There was another card. That I saw.
Yeah, go ahead with yours.
Go ahead. Split Up. Have you seen that one?
No.
So it is the color is white, 2 white, 1 colorless. Choose 1. Destroy all tapped creatures or destroy all untapped creatures.
All right, interesting. So it's a
board wipe.
Okay.
It's essentially a board wipe. It really makes your opponent. I mean, I'm specifically talking about like your token creators, your elves, right. Your slivers, your. All
right, so we're on 2 white pips. Destroy all tap, destroy all untapped. It is a sorcery. Okay, so I could see this being played more in casual.
Yeah.
If this was instant, if this was actually an instant though, like I could see it being played in some form of cEDH deck, but it's not. Yeah. It's stuck at sorcery speed. Right. I don't think any cEDH decks are going to want this. There are better options already. Right. I think.
Right. That is true. That was the one that I was like, in casual play, yes. In competitive, not so.
Right. One of the other ones, another removal spell, Unwanted Remake. It's a good option to Swords to Plowshares and Path if you don't have either of those cards.
Right.
It doesn't exile. It's a little bit worse. No? So it doesn't exile, it destroys. So it is a little worse than Path than Swords. But I mean, it's it'll see some play because it's just another option.
Right.
Maybe.
Now one card I know it will see play. It all depends on the strategy, right?
Right.
but Screaming Nemesis.
Screaming Nemesis.
One red, 2 colorless. It's a haste, 3/3 spirit. Whenever Screaming Nemesis is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any other target. If a player is dealt damage this way, they can't gain life for the rest of the game.
Oh. Yeah, this is so is this a like kind of a brand new mechanic? Because I don't think I've ever seen cards that actually do stuff like that. Right? So this reminds me of kind of like an emblem, because once that happens, you can't get rid of it. Right?
Right.
Now, would I run this at Magda maybe, or in one of my other decks for a tech card? Sure, I'd try it out. Maybe a Tali. I don't really run into much life gain realistically in cEDH outside of maybe Kenrith.
What's the one? Why can't I think of the damn name right now?
But I mean, this is a good option to stop that kind of infinite life gain, and then a good option to stop Aetherflux also.
Right. Good option to stop Heliod.
Yeah, Heliod. That is definitely and that's definitely one of those life gain strategies. I believe Heliod is. So you do have an option here to deal with that. Again, does this go in every deck? Probably not. But like I said, it's just it's another option to just some tech that you have, and if you don't have anything better to do,
right.
You
know what? I'm not doing so well right now, so I'm gonna play this.
One of the ones that I thought was interesting was the new red Leyline. Leyline of Resonance. So if this is in your opening hand, you begin it with the game. It's one of those cards on the battlefield. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature you control, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This will see play, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Maybe in Kark and just other builds. Like if I had like a 5-color deck that actually was running Nadu, I would probably run this as well.
Right.
You could just do some silliness with that. Like I said, not every deck, but it might get some testing.
Here's a big one, which I don't think a lot of people have been talking about. Is dual lands.
The dual lands.
These are special little dual lands, but there's stipulations. Mm-hmm. One's called Bleeding Woods, Abandoned Campground, Strangled Cemetery, Razor Trap Gorge.
Okay.
Lighthouse.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. These are not searchable lands.
Yeah,
right.
Where they enter the battlefield tapped unless a player has 13 or less life. So in Commander, I think that's pretty strong. Because if you can get those out pretty early.
I don't know. I don't know so much in Commander, because Commander you start at 40. I could see these being good maybe in like a limited format, like standard or maybe even.
You know what? I read it wrong. I thought they would come untapped if.
No, they come in tapped. Okay, so like I would run these in like.
Those are more for like standard and I'm sure.
Yeah.
Read the card, explain the card. It's wow.
So these are again these are another cycle of lands that we do have access in Commander. So if you're running like a Pauper Commander, these would be great, I think.
Right.
Or like budget Commander. A lot of people just play budget Commander, and dual lands are few and far, and this is a good cycle for that.
There are the dual lands like the Czech ones.
We do have some notable special guests printed in this. One of them being we got Fimage that sees play in a lot of cEDH decks. Noxious Revival sees play, and I think that's about it. Out of those 10, yeah. And there's some. Looks like there's some special art stuff. The bundle comes with a couple different arts. All in all, it looks like a fun set. So we'll see how it pans out. As far as the commanders go, I haven't really looked at them. I did look at the face commanders for the boxes, None of them really stream cEDH, so we'll see.
I was sad that Amanatu wasn't stronger.
Yeah, I know, me too. Because the original Planeswalker Amanatu sees not too much anymore, not in tournament, but it's still a playable cEDH commander.
Right.
It does see play in the Sisei 99 pile of Planeswalkers, so
Right.
it's still being played. So yeah, that's about all I got for that. Again, I'm sure once, I don't know if the set's fully spoiled yet. I'm sure we'll be talking more about some of these cards. We always miss some, that actually do make a breakout in formats or whatever, and yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell until release date.
Right. Well, yeah, so that's episode 8 of our jibber jabbing on our Hivemind podcast. Cranium, I always appreciate doing this with you as always, and to the people that always stick around and listen to us rant and bullshit. We appreciate you still hanging around.
Absolutely, and remember, kids, having a rule committee for any sort of format is just bad for the game and should not be allowed.
Yeah. Always play Commander the way you want, especially if you're not a tournament grinder. That's just the way I look at it.
Right. But yeah, no, I got nothing else, and thank you guys for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode. Be looking out future episodes with special guests. This one, like I said, will be Rip Pull Repeat. And this time, if you've made it this far into the damn episode, comment your favorite commander card. Comment. It takes 5 seconds. Just get down in your comment section, type out, hey, this is my favorite card in Magic the Gathering. Is it ass or gas? You press enter. Magically, it shows up, and then you never know. It might show up on the next episode. As always, thank you for your support.
Yep. For the Hive, and also glory to Phyrexian. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.